We're live for Gialloween.
Maybe. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I got my special
We
guest
like.
Anthony Gambino to hear now. Yes, sir.
Hey,
We are live. Gambino's in the house. I
what
don't
up?
know if you even watched the movie. If you're drawing from that with me tonight, some people have been doing random drawings. You're welcome to do whatever.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
goofy movie.
yeah, it was
I like.
Inferno was tonight's movie. Did you end up watching it?
I did. I watched it last night.
How'd you like it?
I I was definitely confused a little bit at times. I thought it was shot really well. Like I'm a sucker for cinematography, so I thought all that stuff was crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's like the backbone of the genre as a whole. Is
yeah,
like they're just sexy movies that 9 times out of 10 are gonna make very little sense.
yeah, yeah. Which it was fine.
Yeah,
Um, Color theory in that movie was it was so fucking cool. I loved it.
yeah.
And I don't.
That's a staple with Argento too. Like, I can give you I mean, if you look at that list, I listed directors, so just check out any of, Dario Argento's other movies on there. He was a big guy to play around with color palettes. He kind of invented that whole what everybody calls, like, the bisexual lighting nowadays, where it's that, like, blue and red that meets in this, like, soft purple in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of it. I mean, I think it works better than like too many times in horror movies. You'll see like blues and oranges, like
Yep.
it's all over the place. It makes no fucking sense to me because complementary colors are supposed to be comforting. So why do you put it in these tense situations? So I
Yeah,
think
and,
like
like, a hot and a cold back to back always looks weird to me too.
yeah, I don't know, but I thought it was pretty cool. I'm not sure. Is the movie originally in Italian or is it English?
So that's the thing with giallos. They're Dario Argento is Italian, so it is like an Italian directed movie. But with giallos, what a lot of Italian directors did back then was they would let every actor in the movie speak in their native language. So that's why the movies always have this like weird ethereal feeling. Is like, can you imagine being on set and you're like the lead actor in a movie and you're acting opposite this beautiful Italian woman and you're from America and you're reading all your lines in English with an American accent and you think you're nailing it, and then this woman opens up her mouth and she's speaking back to you in fluid Italian and you have no fucking clue what she's saying, and you have to just keep hitting your marks. And they would basically
Well,
have like a guy who would be like, your turn, to like make sure the timing was right. And then they would redub the
it
audio afterwards.
Okay, because I was gonna say we were watching it and like some of it felt like it was English, but then parts of it looked dubbed, so I wasn't sure what was going on.
Yeah, so you'll see an actor who's, like an English speaking actor, and he's, delivering his lines, and you're like, "Oh, everything, like, my brain doesn't hurt looking at this." And then it'll just cut to another person in the room, and all of a sudden none of the words are matching up with their lips, and that's exactly what it is. And some of them would have like actors from a bunch of different countries, so you could have like 4 or 5 different languages being spoken on set, and it would just get insane. But then they would do the Italian dub, everybody in Italian, and they would have like go-to actors to do all the voices for that, or the actor themselves would do their voice for that. Uh, and sometimes also like you could be nailing your lines and acting and doing it great, and you're the American English speaking lead in the movie, and then they would still get like a different English speaking actor to do your dub in the end of the movie. So it
That's
will still feel weird in that regard, where you're like, is this even that guy's voice? Like, that's why, like, I love that about giallo films, but it is like one of the reasons it's such like a jarring like genre to get people into. Uh,
explains me what Giallo is, because to me it just means yellow.
yeah, it means yellow in Italian, exactly, and it comes from Italy. I've explained it a bunch on the channel over this month, but essentially what it boils down to is like Italian slasher films. Italy arguably invented the slasher film with the giallo, and giallo as a name, what is it like? I believe it's like Il Giallo Montadori or something like that. I'm fucking terrible with Italian. So I'm even if I got the words right, I'm probably butchering that. But it was an old genre of like pulp books way back in the day, and the
Uh,
covers were just yellow because yellow ink in CMYK was the cheapest ink at the time. So they would do
I,
yellow book covers, and it was like all these old Italian pulp novels that would come out, just like stories about like mobsters shacking up with a hot lady and getting into some crime, and they die
yeah,
violently at the end or whatever. Or it'd be like
yeah.
a sort of Agatha Christie murder mystery, which is what a lot of these Giallo movies are. But that's where it came from, was this like pulp novella scene like decades before, probably like the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And very similar to like where comic books came from with us, with like pulp novels, like dime store fiction and stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, they just evolved into these murder mystery stories that were on these yellow paperbacks. They took it and created Giallo films because the books were known for having yellow covers, and they were all crime and murder mysteries. They just took that as the genre name and ran with it. But like as far as like the word itself, it doesn't really mean anything to the genre, because yeah, it does just mean yellow. But they're they're normally a who done it murder mystery. Um, I've said time and again, there's like a ton of tropes for them. So like 9 times out of 10, it's revealed in the end. The murderer's like absolutely batshit insane. Um, that's a very common theme. Like mental illness is always in them. But as it was always explained to me, Giallo is like it's like a slasher movie, but to Italians, if they were making a horror movie, like I think it was Dario Argento that asked the question of like why can't it still be beautiful? And it was like
like
murder as an art form, essentially, is what it boiled down to. And that's
like
why you'll see like all this amazing art in the shot, these like weird framed shots and things, like things that are just so innately like un-American and foreign to us. It was almost all style over substance and consciously doing that,
yeah.
which is
Some of the framing in particular in the movie was just gorgeous. I mean, like
yeah.
especially in the all the giant beams of wood surrounding the characters and shit. I love all that.
I think
But
if you really like this one too, and you haven't already seen it, you should go check out the original Suspiria. Like that one will
okay,
like blow your fucking mind. Like that is, I think that's his best movie, as do like most people. But like don't look anything into it. It's his from the 70s, not the Tilda Swinton one from a couple years ago. But like
yeah, it's
if you liked one of his films, I think you'll at least, and especially like you said, you're a big nut for cinematography. We've talked before about how you do a lot of what I do, where you'll just like watch movies and draw like frames and stuff from it to get your reps in and stuff like that. Like uh those movies will make you want to draw constantly. Like there's so much shit in it, and like I think people that incorporate stuff like that into their comic work will stand out immensely. Like I don't think there's anyone that really does it like the Italians were doing it through the 70s and the 80s. And I'm still a huge slasher nut, but giallos are like their own subgenre of slashers, and it's a whole different ball game. Like every one you watch, there will be at least like one kill in it that is just like one of the most insane things you've ever seen, that stands out against everything else in the movie. The movie might be
like
a little lackluster, the script might be a little bit weird, but there's always going to be something memorable where you were just like, "Holy shit!"
like the old man.
Yeah, dude, there's so much. I mixed this one up at first too, because I thought we were gonna do Delirium, and I like mixed
Oh,
up the days. Uh, so I didn't. I haven't seen Inferno since like early last summer. Which is why I was
oh,
like, tonight I'm gonna do. I was gonna do the cover for it, the Skull Lady.
the hot
But I
dog
don't even.
cracked
What's up?
me up. The hot dog guy, I was laughing my balls off.
Oh yeah, dude. There's. I'm trying to remember too. Is there any overt misogyny in this one?
Um,
Because that's another really common one. Because in Italy, that was like really sexy at the time, still too, and I think they're kind of still down with that there. Like women are women and men are men, and they're very like steadfast in their gender roles. In the movies. Uh, there was one we watched earlier this month that was absolutely fucking insane with it. Like one of the detectives was basically goes around the whole movie saying like all the women were asking for it, and you're like, whoa, this movie could not get made today for this one character alone. Like he keeps showing up to crime scenes and being like, of course she got murdered. Look at how she was dressing. Like,
there might
uh,
have been like one comment. Uh,
yeah, they're normally real wild.
I don't remember anything. Like nothing stood out.
Yeah, nothing overt. Man,
No, I don't.
I gotta, I gotta make you like a list, but definitely check out Suspiria is like top of that if you really dug this one. Uh, gotta pull up the chat here, but I can finally get drawing. I didn't know too.
I'm
I shouldn't gotten too carried away immediately. But did you want to do your little announcement? Beginning of the show after we draw.
yeah, let's do it now because I can't stay too long.
Yeah, I was gonna say we already
Um,
burned through like 15,
how
20
how do
minutes.
I want to do this?
I don't even know. This announcement's a secret to me.
I know. I think you'll be happy.
I'm
I
finding
think
out
everyone will be
live.
happy
Yeah, I'm miserable now.
with the camera. Okay. So, Vigilant Fury will now be ink washed
Oh shit! You're
instead
doing
of
full
just
ink wash with it?
going full ink wash, baby.
Let me get over to the screen really quick. Hang on. Right when I got to my drawing table. I
Oh,
gotta put you full screen, dude.
done messed
Hell
up.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's
Full
upside
ink
down,
wash.
but it looks great.
Hold on. My bad.
No spoilers. Hell yeah,
No, I
man.
don't think there's in here.
I love that you're doing the full gray wash. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah, man. It's been
Will the
it's
book be printed upside down like that?
yeah. It's been so good. It's felt amazing. Everything I've done so far in ink wash like has gotten a much better response than the black and white. Um, so Julius and I
Hell
talked
yeah.
like after I started working with the washes, and he was like, I kind of wish I had asked to seen some ink wash samples before we started." And I was like, "Hey, man, I didn't know I could do this before we started." So,
I saw
no,
those Northmen and I'm gonna need it.
yeah. So yeah, and also another quick announcement: if anyone's listening who purchased the original art bundle, because the pages were originally 11 by 14, and we had promised that you were paying for 11 by 14 pages, I'm now working on 9 by 12s. So if you got that bundle, you're gonna get 2 pages instead of one because it's a smaller size paper. Um, and we're gonna put that perk back up for probably like a month now that like once we start telling people that it's an ink wash. So that will be available again temporarily. Um, we'll keep the same deal. You get 2 ink wash pages. And yeah, the whole book's gonna be ink washed.
Oh shit.
Yeah, baby.
There's a much bigger announcement than I expected.
Oh,
Hot
cool.
damn.
Okay. It was
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, but
I
that's
love
good.
getting the juicy bits on our channel.
That's the juicy bits, man. I'm super
This is
excited.
I'm doing this ugly old cover tonight because again I didn't have time. I am exhausted from New York. I went from working a desk job and not walking a lot. The most working out I've been doing is lifting weights, and then we did like 200 blocks in a couple of hours on Saturday.
That's
And
a normal.
New York streets are dog shit for my caveman feet. Uh, I got home and it was like I had a wood leg and like bricks for feet.
Uh,
I got fucking like really bad knees, so like one of my knees just locked up and I could not bend it for like the last like 10 blocks we had to walk, and I was just like walking around like a pirate. It's fucking insane. Mike was dying laughing. We were having a good time though. Like I was like, you know what? For how fucked up my leg is right now, like not a bad day. Like
Yeah, really, all things considered.
uh I am just I'm not built for the city life. I was weirdly bored as shit for parts of it too. Like after we parted ways with Lores and those dudes, it was just like, wow, uh, there's stuff to do here, but like I went there to shoot. It was a pretty fucking ugly day. Uh, like I brought a bunch of film, was hoping to get some cool shots, and there was like nothing out. Everybody was all bundled up because I guess that was cold for New York, and then it ended up getting really hot.
Oh,
Uh,
it was, yeah. It's,
is weird. I was like expecting to just be burning through film all day, like, holy shit, everything's so great. Like, I miss New York so much. And I was like, we can get out of here. Like,
yeah, yeah, weird like that. Like some days, you know, I had days like that where you could stay there all day and draw. And one of my classes in grad school was an 8-hour class on Saturdays, and it was just going around to different parts of the city and drawing from life.
yeah,
And
I
some
brought, me and Mike both brought like sketchbooks, and I brought like some of my watercolor stuff. And I was like, just nothing struck me as the last time I went to the city. Like, you would have had to like fucking pull me away at gunpoint to get me out of there. I was having so much fun. And this time I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, man, and honestly, it's the energy too. Like the energy of the city just not the same that it used to
Yeah,
be.
no, it doesn't feel like New York anymore, which is like I probably sound like a fucking idiot to anybody who actually lives in New York. Like, fuck this guy, what does he know? Like, and I totally
No,
get that.
no,
But
no, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, the last few times we've been there, it's like it's just not the same.
yeah, and then we fucking found out the one time we rode the subway, like 2 stops away from where we were, some dude got thrown onto the tracks that day, and it's like all over Twitter now. It was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I mean,
sick.
it's just yeah, I don't know. It breaks my heart talking about it.
Yeah, it's like
I
that's what I mean. Was like I like Mike's more of a Boston guy and I love Boston too, but there's always something about New York where I knew I could go up to New York and just burn through shitloads of film and have a good time no matter what you ran into. And I was just like,
yeah,
man, like it was weird. It felt like weirdly lifeless all day.
yep, that's you hit the nail on the head. It
It
doesn't
was
matter how
like
many people. There's no life to it anymore.
the only time I we passed through the Bronx on our way out for a little bit, and I was like, "See, this is the New York I remember." And there were like people actually out, music playing and shit, and like
Yeah,
I did not experience that. Granted, we were in like I told you off air, like the whitest parts of New York I have ever experienced.
yeah, that doesn't
And I
help.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's like a new thing or what, but it was like very like we were in an area where literally a crackhead stumbled in and it was like a zombie movie. Like people were like shouting at her and like stepping around her in like a 20-foot radius and like looking around for NYPD, and I was like shocked to see that because it's like I thought New Yorkers just like blocked these people out of their mind.
Dog,
I never
I don't
seen
understand.
so many people react to a crackhead so like viscerally.
Do you
Like me
understand?
and Mike were more indifferent. Sorry.
You understand what New York used to be? Like exactly what you're saying. People used to like just get the fuck out of here. Like not even pay them any
Yeah, you'd have
mind.
a crackhead screaming in your face and you'd be like, all right, buddy, like I got places to be. And everyone
Yeah,
looked like mortified. Like it turned into there were like people with their phones out around us at the traffic light and stuff. I was like, this isn't like a every 10-minute occurrence. Like me and
how many
Mike
people?
weren't phased by the crackhead. Like
Do you know how many people I've seen jerking off on the subway or wiping their ass in Port Authority? Like
yeah, right?
it's just part of the city. And now I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Like you don't have to interact with these people.
Yep.
People are crazy. I don't know, man. I miss New York. I miss going there. I love walking around.
That's exactly how I felt, and I was like, "Oh, it'll be rad." Like, I've never gone really into Soho or fucking Tribeca before, and that's where we were for the most part. So I was like, "Oh, that'll be cool." A new part of New York I haven't really fucked around with, and we got there. I was like, "This is why I've never been here." And I was
Yeah,
told like this is like a like hipster art area, and even if like everybody's a pretentious wiener, like there's at least cool shit around, and we weren't finding it. like we were also getting like looked at like really weird by a lot of people, and I just had to assume. I was like, maybe it's because I have my camera on me, but I'm like, there's been people everywhere with cameras today, and I'm like not walking around taking pictures of tourist shit. Like,
you might have just been the tallest one by like a foot.
yeah, I never think of that anymore, but that is a good point. And I did on the way in though, like 2 blocks away from our parking garage that day, we ran into a kid who had the exact same camera strap as me, which is like winning the lottery because it's a camera strap that's my girlfriend's, and it's like a vintage one from the 70s. And I
Oh,
walked
that's
right
weird.
by some kid who had the exact same one, and he just was like, nice, and nodded at me and kept walking. And I was like, that's fucking insane. Like, only
That's
in New
cool.
York. Like,
That that's a good New York moment.
yeah, that was the only like New York interaction we had that day, and then the crackhead where me and Mike were like, "Oh, crackhead," because we made like halfway through the day we made a joke like this is the most like the like weirdly like cleanest New York trip ever. I guess was the easiest way to explain it. Where like
Oh,
there's loose garbage around here and there, but it wasn't as bad as like the parts of the city I like to go to. Uh, there weren't really like a lot of places to grab food that weren't like up their ass like sit down restaurants, which really surprised us. uh every bar had like a cover because we didn't realize there was a UFC event going on. uh
oh, that's annoying.
yeah, so that was all really dumb, and the I didn't really think about it, but I was bigger than like every bouncer at every bar we stopped at, so that was also probably why they were really combative with me there. uh and we were just like nothing but polite the whole time, which seemed to be fucking everybody's like brains up. Because we'd be like, "All
Yeah,
right, thanks, man, take it easy," like, and like people were like, "What the fuck?" like looking at us weird. Uh,
it's just gotten it's very weird now.
yeah, it was not what we were expecting. As like, I don't know if Mike's been to New York a lot, but I used to go to New York a shitload, like especially before COVID, and it was like, wow, it's been like 3 years since I've been to the city at least. Like this is crazy, and I was like, I'm gonna love it. We're like, I'm gonna. We had even talked at the beginning of the day. I was like, Mike, I might just get us a hotel for the night, like, and then we can, stay out and shoot all night. There's no
Nope.
fucking light anywhere in fucking Tribeca or Soho. Like everything is like dim ass, like warm lighting now too, so you can't see anything. And it's like not great for shooting film.
It's not great for much.
Yeah. It was weird because the places were so populated and it was like 99% white people, but there was no light. I was like, you could just be pickpocketing everybody and no one would like notice because you couldn't fucking see anything anywhere. And it was just like a weird like hipster scene that I did not expect. Uh
Yeah, yeah, it sums it up.
yeah, like we were so thrown off. Like I kept being like, are we in New York? Like I straight up told Mike, I was like, next time we go, we literally just need to go to like the Bronx. Like even if I get my fucking head kicked in, I don't care. Like I want to go back to like a part of New York that I know and like. Uh, we walked around like before we met up with Low Res for probably like an hour or two. Couldn't find anything really like interesting. Nobody could be bothered to even have like a passive casual conversation. It was
Oh, oh,
strange.
no, dude. They won't talk to anybody.
Yeah, it's like
It's crazy.
everybody is like complete strangers now, and I was like, damn man, I couldn't walk like a half a block back in the day in New York without like running into someone and talking to someone just like a carnival barker trying to get you to come into their shop and buy some shit. And I'm like, it didn't even seem like shops were doing that anymore.
No, no, no. They'll call the cops on you if you approach them like that, like on the street. I'm exaggerating. I don't know if they actually will, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's just weird as shit now. It was a completely different vibe than what any of us were expecting.
Yeah.
Is like anyone we did interact with for the most part was nice, but it was like most of the people we interacted with for the day were like through low res. There was like a guy at the beginning of the line. I got to meet with Kino for a little while, but he was so damn busy all day meeting with people that I basically got to shake Kino Corner's hand before he went into the Gallo event.
Am I? Is it? Should I know who that is?
No, it's a
Okay.
film YouTuber. You're not
Okay.
terminally online like me, and you're barely into movies.
No, no disrespect to Kino.
Yeah, no, not at all. Definitely a channel you should check out if you want to get more into film and dive into some weird stuff.
Hell
Um,
yeah. Well, that's another good segue, I guess.
yeah.
I'm also working on um an independent horror movie. I got connected with some guy who's actually local to my area, and he's having me do a bunch of stuff for him for his little horror movie, and
Good shit.
that includes 78 full tarot deck for his horror
Oh
universe.
shit.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked.
Yeah, very cool.
So I think I'm going to my first time being on set will be November 4th. I'm gonna go hang out and just observe everything and sketch around.
I was like, I'm not sure completely if he's. I think he's a New York guy though, because I heard like a clip of him talking the other day. Have you been hearing about Terrifier too?
Dude, that movie looks insane.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that dude's like a New York Italian guy.
Oh, nice.
Uh, which I never knew. And I saw the first Terrifier, I saw All Hallows Eve. Like I pretty much watched all the Art the Clown movies, so it's like I love seeing that Terrifier 2's crushing it. But I never really knew much about the director, and he like I heard like a clip from him the other day. I was like, holy shit, is this dude just like the most New York guy ever? Or am I like misinformed? I don't know, but yeah, he's fucking crushing it right now. I was gonna say like
That'd be,
there might be quite a few indie horror directors in your area.
that's
Uh,
awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you saw Terrifier because I never heard of it, and I saw the trailer for the second one recently, and
they're a
I
bit
thought it
they're
looked
definitely
fun.
schlocky. Like like intentionally lowbrow. It's not trying to be like something you need to like think hard about to really wrap your head around what's going on. It's very much as shallow as a murder clown. Uh
That looks great.
he's Yeah, it's not trying to reinvent the wheel, but goddamn does like all of the movies have some of the like best practical effects to be going on in movies, let alone an indie movie in the last 10 years. I think they're all worth checking out if you like that kind of stuff. And I've seen the stuff from 2 now that's like making everybody queasy supposedly, and I'm like really surprised honestly cuz I on like what I had planned for Baby Teeth is wilder than like there's the new one looks pretty tame to me, I'll say that.
Gotcha.
Like I was expecting something way wilder when I was hearing people were throwing up. So I was like, "Oh wow, it's cool to know that they're like normies are still like heavily affected by horror movies, I guess." Cuz like the scene that's making everybody lose their mind, I think like most people will know once they see the movie like what scene it was, but I was like, "Oh, this is like I was expecting something like real wild." Like I was like, "Am I
Is it
going to
worse
throw up at this movie?" Like
than Bone Tomahawk?
yeah, it's. I think it's
And
worse
that's
than Bone Tomahawk.
okay. All right,
Yeah, yeah,
because that scene was a
without
little
yeah, that scene's intense.
that was rough.
Uh, yeah, I'm like trying to think. Um, because that didn't really shock me either. Like I remember,
I
granted,
wasn't
I've seen a
expecting.
lot of insane shit, and that's pretty out of left field for a western, but uh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like showing how much of a sicko I am or something. But
You're very desensitized, huh?
yeah, I was expecting like a degloving or something. Like that's always fucked me up when
Uh,
like all the arm and hand skin on somebody gets pulled off in like one fell swoop.
yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
gruesome.
like that shit is always like I'm like ah like immediately like it just I have like a weird visceral reaction to it. But the stuff that was happening in this one, like I I think it's just how it's like framed and shot and the pacing of it. Like by the point that it hits that, if you're on board for the ride and you're enjoying the movie, like you're probably laughing by that point, which is like where I was at with it.
Gotcha.
I think if you just saw the scene like as an isolated clip, you would be like, "Holy shit!" But yeah, like if you're like watching along with the movie and you're on board for the ride, like it's nothing you wouldn't really expect by that point. It's like about like a like evil clown who does the most heinous shit to people possible and tortures them. Like
The costume, like they just look so funny.
yeah, and I think the director like actually does all of the design stuff for that, which is why I was always like interested in it because it's a guy like I mean I don't know if he's gone to film school. I can't say he's like me, but in the sense that he's a dude that's kind of DIYing it as much as possible. I like that.
Yeah, I
It's
love
like
that.
'cause that's the position I'm in where it's like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do all my own practical effects and figure out how the fuck to direct a movie after never directing a movie or going to film school or anything. Just because I'm like, hey, I'd like to do this, and nobody. It's funny because like if Terrifier 2 had come out like 2 years ago, I wouldn't be on this path at all. Because it's like, why isn't anybody doing like wild gore like horror movies anymore? And here we are. They're
There we
back,
are.
baby.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more gratuitous than anything you're gonna see like in the last quite a few years. It's like up there
Yeah,
with like French extreme films and stuff. I definitely enjoyed it, but they still has some weird. I was telling low res when I talked to him about it. It's got like sort of like a soap opera effect. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I compared it to
uh,
like motion smoothing on those new TVs and stuff, where there's like
uh,
something almost like too slick about it,
yeah, yeah,
but it doesn't ruin the movie. It's just like a pet peeve of mine, I guess. It's like
yeah.
if
It
that
takes you
movie were shot on film, it'd be amazing.
right, right.
Trying to crank through this.
And I'm gonna start just laying in blacks pretty soon.
Yup, it's time.
Eat these.
Yeah, definitely check out Suspiria. Um, I'd almost say, oh, what was the other one? It was one I hadn't seen. It's on the list. I think it's Five Dolls for an August Moon. That was another really cool one.
Okay.
I think you would like another one. It's just got like some wild shots in it, and they're pretty good mysteries. Like even like I said, even when the scripts aren't like fucking phenomenal or anything, they still always have like parts that will hook you in. Remember that one
Right.
was really like visually interesting though, and had some cool shots with like the killer looming nearby that kind of felt like an old like 60s film or something, but
Ye-
like they did it in really interesting ways. Like
Yeah,
trying to
like
think of any others.
when you
Sorry.
first meet the, you're not sure it's the killer,
Yeah.
but the killer is like kind of really creepy.
Yep.
But I want
That's
to give it any.
that's a big thing too. Is like every character feels like a red herring in Giallos usually,
Yep, yep, yep.
which like slashers kind of aped that, where they would put like a red herring in it. But like a lot of Giallos, you'll be like, Jesus, is everyone the killer? Like, what the fuck is going
Yeah,
on?
yeah. My
That's one of
wife
the things they nail about it.
My wife was like, "Oh, I think it's them. Oh no, now I think it's them. Oh no, is it them?" I'm like, I think
Yep.
there's a point to know.
It does a good job of that while like still keeping your interest where like part of you is like, what the fuck is going on? But the other part of you is like, it's gotta be this dude or this crazy lady. Like, and then I think the worst are always when it's like a dude they never even introduced you to.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
terrible.
yeah, it's like here's that crazy guy, but that works sometimes. But there's so many tropes in Giallo, and it goes all over the place, and different people have different interpretations of what makes a Giallo. Argento actually just released a new one too. That's like it's not amazing, but he's like kind of getting back on track with his old stuff. Like it's the first newer Argento movie I saw that I actually enjoyed. It's got a ton
Old
of
is it?
titties in it. This chick like goes blind and then just has her tits out for like the rest of the movie. Like to a point where me and Mike couldn't stop making jokes about it because it just became hilarious how often she was pulling her big fake boobs out.
Sounds very Italian.
Yeah, like I was 14 years old again and laughing like an idiot. We were just like, God damn, man. By the end of the movie, I could paint you a picture of that lady's boobs. It was like, we have seen them in every angle known to man. It was like Argento saw her naked in something and was just like, I got to make a whole movie around this.
Yeah, I
It
don't think they
was
put the whole
pretty
PC
wild.
there.
Yeah, not at all. Uh, I mean, she looks kind of like an Italian porn star or something. I don't know who she even was, but uh, he was just like, "We're gonna make her naked the whole time," and then she becomes like a very like maternal figure to an Asian kid whose name is literally just Chin. She spends like the last half after blasting tits for the first half of the movie. She spends the last half chasing around like a little chubby Asian kid named Chin and trying to keep him from not getting murdered by a sweaty dude or something, I guess.
Probably blasting
Yeah, like
tits. He said.
it's a weird one. Yeah. I don't know what the kids call it these days. That's what we always called it. Like dual wielding. Yeah, it was that Dark Glasses if anybody wants to watch it. It's also pretty violent too. Like the opening kill like surprised the shit out of me and I was like, "Oh man, I guess Argento's back, baby." Like so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that the hot dog guy just cracked me up yesterday with that movie. So I was totally expecting him to go help. Nope.
Never. Slowly painting the lips. Drop that shadow back in. This weird creepy skeleton.
Real loosey goosey with this one right now.
Hell yeah. That's what it's all about, man. The hokey pokey of it all.
Yes.
It's like I don't know if I'm gonna have the time. I might have put too much ink on this. I might have to wait to wash it tomorrow. I don't want to hold you up any longer.
Nah, that's all right. You know, I'll dip out. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more in this, and then I'll go.
It's like Skull Lady is black and white for now, but I think I'm gonna do a follow up night soon where I add some color to a couple of them as well. Because I think I wanted to add some skin tone to this guy as well from last night. A Knife for the Ladies. Charles Bronson the night before that. That's getting shipped out shortly to Metatron. Would have gone out today, but it was fucking raining sideways at my house. Uh, and I had a bunch of shit we ended up having to do that was not anticipated. So I'm gonna have to get some trees removed in my backyard in the near future. Uh,
Tree.
Yeah, because another storm like that, and we're gonna put a tree through the house.
Oh shit.
Let me check chat here. Sorry, guys. Ben, what is up? I don't know if I said hi before.
Hey
Mara,
Ben.
hello. Mara said that's awesome, Anthony. Charles
Oh,
Reeves, what up, what up? Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat, guys. We got all into drawing here. I'll hold my little card up. I just did the cover tonight. I cheated again. A lazy one. I can't remember how many of the covers I've done, but I've been trying not to do that as much as possible. Oh,
yeah.
another rad one. Tenebrae. That's I lied. That's probably my favorite of Argento's, and then
Okay.
Suspiria. But I fluctuate between those. But Tenebrae and Suspiria, you should definitely check out for the visuals. I literally drew my favorite kill from Tenebrae because it's so fucking insane. Uh,
Dope.
yeah, these can go in here now. I think this was that day. Just to keep them safe for now and they don't get lost until they ship. Here we go.
You reminded me. I gotta ship some stuff out tomorrow too.
Yeah, I got the last couple books for City of Rot People going out tomorrow morning, and then it's a wrap on that except for variants and merch, which I'll be
Very,
doing over this month.
very
Finally.
cool.
Yeah, merch is going out to the merch printer all as one big order. That'll be rad. Yeah, here's all my cards from the month. We're almost done with week 3 now, right? Yeah, we're going into week 4. That was week 1 actually. Yeah, that's the start. So week 2 is here. All these guys, the Black Cat, Trans Michael Caine, lots of fun stuff. Giallos are weird. Here's the Suspiria card. We'll actually be doing some giveaways. Halloween night, I think, is the big hurrah that we're gonna do it on. We'll be doing some giveaways. The Suspiria Susie card will finally be, because that was a really popular one. That'll be given away with the Suspiria album that I got. So I can show you guys real quick before we wrap up for the night. We'll be giving away some of the original cards. If you guys win, you'll be able to just pick whatever card, but some of the cards are tied to some giveaway items. Like I got the Suspiria soundtrack on vinyl. This shit absolutely rips.
That's killer.
Yeah, it's the live version of the album too. Claudio Simonetti's Goblin. I think it's like 10 tracks altogether. Very cool stuff. I found it online randomly, grabbed one for myself and one to give away on the show. We also got a copy of the editor on Blu-ray, which I think we're giving away on the 28th. I think we're just going to do it the night of the editor. That was the really fun. It's a parody of Giallo's. It's like a satire. It's very much intentionally a comedy. We showed it to Kayla, and she didn't know it was a parody until halfway through the movie, so she just thought it was a dog shit movie the whole time. But it's one of my favorite Giallos. It's absolutely hilarious, and we're giving away a copy of it on here. That one is also on Shudder if you just want to watch it and you don't want to wait to try and win a copy, or you can go out and buy a copy yourself. Yeah. Other than that, we're heading into the final week of Gialloween. So I'll be doing some giveaways, like I said. Possibly 28th will be the next one for the editor, and then I can say definitely without a doubt we will be doing a couple of giveaways Halloween night, because I'm doing the final draw stream, final draw stream for Gialloween, I should say, which is we're creating our own Giallo film poster, and I'll be doing it. That one won't be a sketch card. It's going to be on an 11 by 17, and you
Ooh,
create your own Giallo killer, your own Giallo hero or protagonist, whatever you want to call them, and then you do your Giallo film poster. We'll also
gotcha.
give away some of these Death Curse, Return to Camp Rainbow promo hotel tags that we got. They're little keychains. So we'll have some of those to give away as well. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying that's awesome that you're doing the whole poster.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to come on any other nights or that night, let me know, because I'm trying to get some guests who are interested in doing it as well. The 28th, that's what I was saying. 28th, I believe it is the last day for actual movies on the Gialloween list. But
Okay.
the 29th, I believe, is the. Let me pull it up. I have it as my pinned tweet here. If I could get to my own damn profile on Twitter. Uh, why has everything changed? Here we go. Yeah, so 28th is the final day for movies. That's Adam Brooks and Matthew Kennedy's The Editor from 2014, the movie I was just mentioning. And then the 29th is Create Your Own Giallo Protagonist. So the last three might be a little longer, but basically I come up with my idea, whether he's, an alcoholic journalist or a photographer or traveling musician. One of those tropes. I was thinking I'd also probably make up like a pull list for anybody that comes on for those. They can have uh those tropes to pick from, different ideas to come up with their protagonist, and man, woman, whatever it is, you figure out your protagonist. I'll be doing her or him on a sketch card, and then the next night, the 30th, is Create Your Own Giallo Killer. So you come up with your visually striking Giallo killer, and I'm going to do them on a sketch card that night as well. And then 31st, Halloween night, I'm doing the full 11 by 17. Gonna try and do like what would actually be like a poster illustration, not at actual poster size, but comic book page size, and hopefully get around to even coloring it that night. If not, I'll color it and finish it eventually. But the whole idea too was you got to come up with a stupid name for your giallo too. You gotta go full out with it. So that's the hard work for the 31st. Is you're doing the whole poster and you got to come up with a name for your movie.
That's
Uh,
interesting.
so yeah, it'll be fun. It's like a little art show where we'll put together a promo piece for a movie that doesn't exist, our own dream Jalo, and
That's cool.
hopefully people will follow along with me. If not, I'm still doing it on my own.
That
Uh,
boy.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh damn, you're ink washing it now too.
Yeah, just quickly getting some tones in.
Dangerous. You can
Very.
tell how much practice you've got. I in that keychain. Oh, we got tons to give away, Mara. Pop by on a Halloween or any stream really. We've been randomly giving away. I know Metatron won one last time. That's where you got the Bronson card too. Basically, been letting people, if they win whatever giveaway, pick a card as well. We load them into top loaders. They come signed by me. Uh, so you get a nice original sketch card from me as well. Celebrate the season. We'll probably start doing these every October too, but they probably won't always be Jalos, obviously. There's only so many out there.
Oh my
What
god, I
would
still
look
have to.
dope?
Yeah,
Puppet Master characters on those cards, just an idea. Oh, Puppet Master series would be rad too. I don't think I've ever drawn any of those other than
I
like
just realized
Blade. What's up?
the
Sorry.
buddy. Just realized I still have to ship you the buddy commission.
Oh yeah, I'm not in any rush. I don't think anyone actually commissioned it or bought the original. So,
Well, you
uh,
didn't put it up. I thought you were keeping it.
oh yeah, no, I was going to. I thought I put it up. I think Kayla had forced me to, but it
Oh,
would have
okay.
only been up for a couple of days before we closed out the campaign, anyways. So it was like a last minute one. That's why I was like, I don't
Yep.
think it actually got grabbed, which Beth won't be mad about because Beth wanted it. So
Okay, now it's Beth's. So there
yeah,
you go. Even better.
and I can always. I think we might end up like I had talked to you, and if we do it, we'll pay you for it as well. But we were talking about potentially doing a print of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and obviously we'll send you some comps of the print if we end up doing that as well. But it was a big hit with people. That just became a
Yeah.
fucking big old scramble. Things got real dumb for a little while, but that's why I'm like back on track and working around the clock now, having lots of fun.
Good.
And actually, I don't think I mentioned it on here. Been talking about a shitload tonight, but I'm gearing up to start drawing my own book, and I'll be kicking off what I've been calling "Hey, how about you draw your own damn book?" Which is going to be the YouTube show I'll be running, most likely starting January 1st, where I'll just jump into doing this comic all by myself, and you can watch me suffer through it in pre-recorded videos and live streams. Uh,
Yay.
yeah, I'll have guests on like Gambino and stuff, and we'll do shit like this. But I'll be suffering through creating my own comic book all on my own because I got tired of reading that whole artists can write their own book, but writers can't draw their own. I say,
Oh,
fuck
that
you, guy. Yes, I can.
I'll suffer through Vigilant Fury while you suffer with your book.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, anytime you want to come on, I'll be drawn. If you're around and you want to be there, that's what I was saying. I was like, I just want to start fostering a uh a constructive channel again where we're I it's too easy for me to get dragged into the negativity and just hating on shit and not having a good time, and I just want to have a good time and be making stuff as much as
Oh,
possible. And it's hard to talk about writing without spoiling things. Like I can talk about, you know, my processes and stuff, but if I really wanted to go into like the like nitty-gritty of specific books, it's going to ruin aspects for someone always.
right.
So it's a lot easier if I'm just drawing my own thing and doing the whole thing, and it'll be a way for me to build my audience and show what I have to offer. And I'm gonna do something that in no fucking way would ever get published, so I literally have to do it all myself. Gambino
Right.
knows a little bit about it. I told him a while ago, and even had approached him about potentially drawing it, but I'm like, I don't want to wish that evil on anyone other than myself. Uh,
Yeah,
so yeah, I'm
that's a
gonna do it. Sorry, what's up?
that is a Spencer book, 100%.
Yeah. Uh, I got a lot of feedback that it was like, oh, this is like Rob Zombie on cocaine and acid. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I just gotta stick with that energy. I've been studying tons of Simon Bisley. Was it Dave DeVries? A lot of old painter dudes that I absolutely love. James Herron, Daniel Warren Johnson, guys who just have shitloads of energy in their art and style that are uniquely their own. Because I want to make something that's weird and people look at it and, like I said to you off air, like even if it's the only book I ever do, like I want people to look at it and be like, yeah, that's a Spencer Desmond book.
Right.
Like,
That's the Spencer Desmond book.
yeah, like look at it and not be like, oh, it looks like he was just trying to copy Jim Lee or whoever on it. Like it's uniquely my own thing and came from my stupid fucked up hands and no one else's. I need to get you on my channel, Spencer. Hell yeah, Ben. The brain damage, man, really wrecks the memory. So literally, I will talk with someone about getting on their channel, and then just like implant the memory that I was on the channel and move on from there. So just follow up on that with like a DM or something. I'm always down to come on. I will gladly make time for you of all people. Uh, so yeah, just hit me up and we'll figure out a time to come on anytime. Uh, I make that mistake all the time though, where I'll like talk to a friend about going on their channel and then I never actually do, and I just like convince myself in my head. I'm like, yeah, that must have happened. Like they would have followed back up with me if it never happened.
Yeah, you got to get on Ben's. It's the most relaxing show I think I've ever been on.
Yeah, he's come on for a couple with me on here too for Gialloween. He was it New York Ripper and oh, what was the other one we did, Ben? Girl in Room 2A, right? Yeah, I think it was Girl in Room 2A because he did the red sword guy too. He did a gnarly one.
Right.
Uh, yeah, Ben knocked it out of the park on two of them and did a New York Ripper with me and Padrino that night too. It was a damn good time.
Oh, cool.
Uh, but yeah, Ben's helped me get through this slog of a month. I can't even really joke like that either. I've been having a shitload of fun. It hasn't been a slog at all. I wish I could just be doing Gialloween constantly. That's why I'm like,
I know.
yeah, I'm gonna do my own fucking book. If I could just be doing YouTube full time and drawing comics and fucking around like this, are you kidding me? I'd love to not be a coin boy anymore.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get more teaching jobs to try to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever do that.
I started teaching a group of kids this fall. It's been a lot of
And
fun.
I'm on this. Children aren't the future to me anymore. Not after my New York trip. Fuck them kids.
No, this group of kids is actually it's all homeschool kids, and let me tell you, man, they're a different breed.
Yeah, they're like
They
10 years ahead of where they're supposed to be and
oh, bro,
well
it's crazy.
adjusted.
It's crazy. They're so well rounded and like I can have actual conversations with them. It's
Yeah, and
nuts.
like I remember homeschool kids were like the weird kids when I was in school, and now it's like they're the well-adjusted normal kids, and the weird kids are all in public school. I'm like,
So that's the thing. The homeschool now, it's like I mean, I'm sure it's there are some parts that are the same as it's always been, but like the kids I'm teaching, they're in homeschool pods. So there's a big group of kids and
yeah,
they all take similar
yep,
classes together, just at your own discretion.
yeah. I like read a whole article. I can't remember who it was that was covering it, but I read a whole article on that recently, where like homeschooling is so vastly. It's not like your mom is just teaching you now. Like it'll be like a whole collective of moms, and you can literally have like all different classes and like different moms will teach you different classes to break up the focus and monotony and things is like, oh, so it's like real school now, just without like the government structure.
It's real school, but it actually teaches you real life shit.
Yeah, and like the person teaching you actually cares about you absorbing the knowledge,
Yep.
which is probably one of the most important factors in education.
Inc-
LOL, I was a homeschooled kid, 13 up.
Incredible.
Yeah, Ben's fucking way more normal than I am. I did public school whole way through, except for Catholic school for like a year early on. It was a year or two actually, but I like block out Catholic school because they told me I had the devil's left hand. They would slap us with rulers, and they kept trying. No matter how devilish left-handed bastard I was, they kept trying to move me and my brother up grades because we could read really well. Ironically, I'm like a grammar idiot now, but a writer, and yeah, the fucking nuns were always like, "They're too smart. We got to move them up." And my parents were like, "Then they'll be too dumb.
Nah.
Just keep them where they're at and let them be smart." Like, yeah, good times. That's great though. Yeah, Ben turned out completely normal. I'm all fucked up. Can I go back in time and be homeschooled?
Do it.
Yeah. Are you teaching them like sequential illustration? What are you doing specifically?
It's a little bit of a mix of fundamentals for drawing and storytelling.
Okay.
So
What's like the
getting into
age range?
8 and 9 year olds.
Oh, okay, very cool.
But I'll show you something I did for the composition lesson. Hold on.
Still, like that's like the age where they're just starting to be like really receptive to shit though, and wanting to like dive into more specific things. Like my niece is around that age right now, and she's starting to get into like art and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. We went to there's a big park by our house. I took them there for the composition lesson, and can you see that?
Yeah.
I made them each one of these viewfinders out of acetate, packaging tape, and cardboard. So I gave my lesson on the rule of thirds and composition and everything, and then I gave them this, and we walked around the park making our own compositions, looking at everything.
Hell yeah, man.
So it
That's
was so much.
actually a brilliant idea.
Yep.
We got to end this stream and talk, my dude. uh
With my
Yeah, that's
piece.
brilliant. Let me show you your piece in solo layout really quick. Oh, hell yeah. I love it, man.
Thanks, dude. It was fun. Got to be nice and messy and
I can't believe you banged that out that quick. Yeah. I love that though. That's what I've been talking about too. That's why I was like trying to prepare people's expectations for the book I'm going to do. I was like, it's not going to be like any other comic you've ever seen. Like I want to do stuff like that. I want to be able to get sketchy and experimental with it. But man, love everything you're doing, Anthony.
thank you, brother.
Great
I
to have
appreciate
you
it.
on again.
Thank you for having me, man,
Uh,
and thank you for inviting me.
Pull this guy over again real quick. Don't want to be abrupt, but Anthony said he had about a half hour to hang with me tonight, and I kept him for an hour.
Oh, good.
Uh, there's my card from tonight. These are some of the past cards. This one's really funny because I haven't finished it yet. That's actually just a bed because that movie was the Giallo that visually didn't really have anything going for it. We found out, but yeah. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna end this stream now though, so I can talk to Anthony off air for a little bit. Uh, Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, same time. Can't remember the fucking movie now. It's been a long day. Here we go. It's Cruisin'. We're doing William Friedkin's Cruisin', and I might actually have another guest for that one as well. But I'm not going to announce it here now. We'll keep it a secret. So stop back tomorrow night at
Ooh.
9. Find out if our guest comes through or not. See you guys later.